I'm flying through the air. I'm tracking down my SnortBucks brew. I saw you take my can, now I'm coming after you.
Oh shit!
You say it wasn't you.
I didn't do anything wrong.
But if it wasn't you, then who? Tell all the lies you want, I know you stole my SnortBucks brew. We're fighting in the air. Your hand gripped tightly round my SnortBucks can. Let go of what you stole and take your beating like a man. Now I'm falling through the air. I can see the spot I'm going to land. I'll hit the soft snow down below with my SnortBucks brew in hand.
Seasons, greetings, and happy holidays from everybody here at GTG Networking Productions, DSP News, the Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, and Tim Snortons is a thing. Stay salty. I knew I was forgetting to add something on to the end of that. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Welcome back to 12 Days Till GOUTMAS, part of 25 days of GOUTMAS, and we're right back at it. Now, I gotta preface this just a bit. This individual was already put in the 25 days, in the early stages of 25 days of GOUTMAS. I'm doing this as a favor for someone. I'm doing this as a favor for one of my peoples. And that's the reason why he's in the latter stages of this. Because normally I wouldn't put another lolcow there, and if I was, I would have put more than likely low tier God would have been up here given the nonsense that he's going through. But Rich took the cut and whatnot, and he's just another pocket lolcow for me, as he should be for everybody else. So it is what it is on that. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do and whatnot. So season's greetings and happy holidays. And let me give you a quick rundown of what this is, because this is gonna go by pretty fast. Okay, so so Rich apparently a couple of days ago decided to that he wants to take back the ReviewTechUSA moniker and the Rich of Tomorrow channel, which is formerly RTU Streams channel, is now being christened as the new ReviewTechUSA channel. Now, there's a lot to say about this. There's a lot that happened that led to this. I was planning on waiting until 2026 and doing something far more extensive and whatnot, because there are other stuff out there, like, for example, the Mikey No More documentary I wanted to go over, and then I would have weaved all of that in there. I'm still going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys just a sneak peek of fucking Rich's stupidity and whatnot and see where we're going. Now, like any lolcow, when they have something that they have spent a decade or more on, and they're not prominent anymore, or they're not relevant anymore, or they've debased themselves so much, they don't see no value in it because they believe other people don't see any value in it. And or they have screwed themselves up in such a way that they have to cut it loose so the rest of the body can keep going. Because they're stupid, for one. Two, they were probably on some shenanigans or bullshit. And three, they didn't even really understand what their situation was. But once they got exposed, or what it appeared to be exposed, it was easier just to cut losses, because as everybody knows, a lolcow values their ego more than anything. And that's what the situation is with Rich and this new RTU thing. For one, and for those of you who haven't been following Rich and whatnot, he's got plenty of guys out there who've been picking up the slack and shit and have been on his neck. So trust me, you have plenty of options to figure out what's going on with him if you're interested. He has he actually, after getting the after basically deleting the RTU channel, after he exposed himself to fucking Tipster, who at that time was running around collecting scalps from some of the guys in the commentator community that he felt had done him wrong, mainly what's his name, Bo Blacks and whatnot. I think that was right around the time Bo Blacks got exposed for wearing dresses and shit. And then I think there's another guy. Is it there's another dude that used to be a commentator guy over there. Then he went into the music shit, and now he's trooned out too. Holy fuck! I don't know, the commentator community just taking hits, just taking hits. Was it Lyric? That was it. That was wild. That was just because you don't know about him. Real fast, he was the dude who snatched up. If I remember correctly, he had snatched up Turkey Tom's ex-girlfriend, or he was messing with her while she was going out with Turkey Tom. I don't remember if he actually knew it or not, or whatever. But eventually came out. And then and now you ain't sat there and you're going through what you're going, fucking crazy and shit. And the fact that fucking Tipster didn't troon out fucking kind of trips me up. But you know, he's out there chasing his goth mommy. So anyway, the commentary community is a mess. Just a mess. Every time you look at that shit, there's something fucking wrong over there. But anyway, Tipster was on the warpath and whatnot. He jumped in and said, "Hey, Rich, you making yourself look like an idiot." They had a conversation on stream. You can find it. I've gone over it, but you can find it. And Rich was, and basically Tipster was like, "Yo, what happened? Why is it that you deleted the channel?" Because that was a big thing on YouTube, believe it or not. It definitely brought a lot of attention to Rich. He sends him a screenshot, or he sends him a screenshot, or he types it in his Discord. And he basically tries to swear Tipster to secrecy, saying, "Hey, don't say why this is going on," which I believe Tipster when he said he wasn't going to. And Tipster didn't need to, because Rich ended up fucking showing on stream by accident, but he's an idiot. That the reason why he had to delete the channel is because that shit got caught for bots. Like it triggered something and fucking YouTube fucking came down on it for botting. Now, for any of you guys who know, you know that Rich was more than likely botting anyway, because if you know some of the people that Rich used to run around with, they botted too. Monday Matt is a perfect example. He's not the only one, but he's a pretty damn good example. So Rich botting is nothing new. And and that shit was suspected for a long ass time, and it's been proven on the fucking RTU streaming channel that he was botting some of his streams, and he probably still is. Anyway, semantics. So the channel got killed. He had to let it go. Now, he could have gone to fucking, he could have gone to Keemstar and whatnot, because I've even spoken about that in the past, that why didn't he just go to Keem when he was over there, before he even went over there to lolcow. He was big enough that he had a partner. He could have explained some stuff. He could have done a bunch of things. And he didn't. He just abandoned it so he could keep this little fucking side streaming channel alive. And now he's having fucking regrets over that shit. And now it's far too late, because he has tried to get the old channel back. He can't. He's far too past the, he's far too long. It's too far along for him to get it back. Now, I also am in the camp that if he could speak to the right person, maybe something could happen. Because I've seen other channels be straight up deleted and they came back from the brink months and months later. But I think with Rich's case, it's a little different, kind of, sort of, only because I think because he had the suspicion of bots on him is the reason why that wouldn't happen. Because there have been plenty of situations where, like, for example, in the Call of Duty community, where dudes had gotten their channels fucking deleted for one reason or another, and they never got it back. But then there was other situations where they got hacked, they got all their videos deleted, and then the channel got fucking deleted itself, and then it was able to come back. So it kind of varies. As it pertains to the Call of Duty community, one of the best examples is 402 Thunder. He used to go by Thunder Toro back in the day. And this is really old lore for those of you who remember. I'm pretty sure the woman who eventually became his wife and the mother of his children, when they were dating, because, you know, women will hit you where it hurts. She, while they were dating, she sat there and deleted his original channel. He had like 10,000, it's not funny, but he had 10,000 subs or whatever, or something along those lines. She deleted that whole channel. That shit was gone from the brink. He was thinking about quitting YouTube. And a lot of the YouTube content creators that he had made friends with at the time were like, no, start a brand new channel. We got your back. And that's why he's at where he's at now. So a situation like that, but he tried though. He really did. He called in, like, people pulled strings back in early YouTube at that time to see if they could get the channel back, and they just couldn't. But if you look in the current Call of Duty community, people have had channels deleted because they got hacked or whatever, and they were able to bring it back. So whatever. I'm not trying to give this idiot hope. Fuck him. But I'm just throwing it out there. So in any case, Rich A put out a fucking short video talking about how he is back now as RTU, or ReviewTechUSA. He made a mistake. Here's his story, which is a lie, because if you listen to his original story that he had put back in the beginning of the year, matter of fact, I think it was like April 1st, or it was around April, because I know a bunch of people were mocking him that he made the video and put it out on April Fools for good reason. You kind of understand, but whatever. Let me ease up. And when that's the holiday season and shit, he can go ahead and take these hands just like everybody else. But I just want to give you a little bit of preface before you walk into the stupidity, which is fucking this nonsense. Absolutely crazy. In any case, season's greetings and happy holidays. Season's greetings and happy holidays to all of y'all. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to 12 Days of GOUTMAS. And let's introduce the other lol cow white meat to the situation, I guess. I guess let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's get the ball rolling here.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
Fitting. Very fitting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give proper introductions. Yikes. Anywho, let's give proper introductions. We are here with fuck that, I'm not calling you. We're here with Rich of Tomorrow. Okay, that's what the channel's called. We're here with Rich of Tomorrow. ReviewTechUSA is back. I made a mistake. Here's my story. This is from December 18th of 2025. Our current year of the snake. And keep in mind though too, if I had to make the argument of, well, is this really even DSP related? This fucking grown ass man who's on Ozempic or whatever fucking his weight loss stimulant is of choice this year had DSP tattooed on him before Lauren, who he's not even man enough to put a ring on her finger. Oh, hey Rich, thanks for doxing her fucking address, by the way. I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people do, actually, because I don't see why Lauren needed any attention. I don't know why you'd want to put your kids in a situation like that. I mean, no one's going to do anything, I don't think. But even still, I don't know why you would put that out there. But going ahead and exposing where Lauren and your kids lay their head down. Great job, Rich. That's real. It's real fucking smart, man. Real fucking smart, man. That's where your kids lay their heads down, bruh. You've already proven to be a piece of garbage fucking father figure. I can't even call you a father, so I'll just go ahead and say father figure. You're a sperm donor at best. And you ain't sat there and now exposed where them kids lay their heads down? Besides you already exposing your parents' house? Yes, your parents' house. Now you went ahead and did that? Fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, this fucking dude here, instead of fucking tattooing the names of his kids' birthdays, you know, something that's actually meaningful. Well, I guess he did put something meaningful. He tattooed fucking DSP's face on his fucking body, bruh. The fuck? Even when he was sitting there shopping that around as a joke, I didn't really think he would. Well, he's stupid enough to do it. I didn't think he would, not before his own children. At the very least. You don't got nothing else in the world except for a DSP? All right, bro. Anyway, that's what our situation is. That's what our scenario is. I mean, fucking A. Here we go. Just the link's down in the description if you guys want to see it, because we do that for everybody. So, without further ado, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Skip it button,
All right, so the title isn't clickbait. I'm just going to kind of ramble here and not do any kind of cuts or crazy edits. I'm just going to have a stream of consciousness.
Not exactly like you're very good at editing anyway. That's why you needed Jay for all them years, but semantics.
Whatever.
I don't know. Jay's still in a tough spot too over that CD-ROM situation, though. For those of you who know, you know. So there's still, it's not like Jay's out of the woods. He's in a whole nother fucking situation too.
Pick the word that's right. And just kind of tell you what made me make this decision to bring back.
And then all the L's that Rich has taken over the last fucking 2 years, bro. You took L's from fucking side scrollers, the Travis situation, which you didn't even need the beef with none of them cats. Sly had to come in to help you with the Travis thing and whatever. That's when y'all were still cool and whatnot. You ain't sat there and taken all that fucking L's from Sav and shit. Like she bent you over multiple times and did vile things to you and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, I got mad love for Sav. Big ups to Sav, but she did vile things to Rich. Oh my god, she violated him in such terrible, horrible ways. Oh man, I laughed at it every minute of it though, and whatnot. And then she ain't sat there and threw the alley-oop to the no-fly zone. So fucking Sly went ahead and got over on you a bunch of times and shit. Then you went sat there and ducked most of the other detractors that you were talking all that smoke with and whatnot. Then weren't you running around promoting that you fucking had Snort Hogan? Big ups to Snort Hogan. But weren't you running around promoting that you had Snort Hogan's fucking docs and shit? And matter of fact, weren't you out looking for other detractors' doxes at that time and or information? You called for all of that at the same time that you were calling for 8-Bit Eric, and while you were still trying to dig up dirt on Jay. And you had the fallout with Jay because you fucked up. Because you couldn't sit there and pay that guy out for the last month of work, which he did do. And you ain't pulled a fucking Vince McMahon and Triple H and fired the dude on his birthday on some lame shit and wouldn't pay him. And made yourself seem like you were the victim. Fucking, and you had known that guy for over a decade. You didn't think you owed him that? For all the work he input in, for all the times that you said he saved your channel, for all those times that he helped your channel grow? But fuck Jay though, right? Or fuck the friendship too, right? And then all of a sudden, and keep in mind, Jay's missing money, right? Jay's missing money, and someone had tampered with his PC that caused for those streams to get fucked up through for a period of time. Michelle Soguchi, which we know that's Rich. It's one of Rich's sock accounts. It's the one account that he didn't show Sly when Sly was like, yo, I need to see all the accounts that you have, and I want to see your flagging history. For those of you who remember that situation, you remember that. So anyway, so Rich just kept going through the fuckery. He was taking L's from everybody for the better part of 2 fucking years. And then what happened to the music channel, Rich? What happened to you being this fucking the next big thing in music as a producer and shit in the span of a year? Last time I checked, the year's up. Where you at? Where you at though? Where that Grammy at? No? MTV Music Awards, Video Awards and shit? BET? VH1? Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards? Nothing? Okay. So there's that nonsense. There's the ASMR shit, which make of whatever that is, I guess. Says stimulation for gay men. All right. What what happened, Rich? What happened? Everybody who went against you and shit, everybody who fucked with you and your reputation were gonna get their up and comings. When? Where? How? And now you ain't crawled back to the very thing you were so quick to cut away and throw away. Jesus Christ. Lolcow being a lolcow. It's not like we have standards here.
ReviewTechUSA, that's what I'm doing. Why I shut down the other channel, the real reasons.
The other channel, you mean the main channel, the main moneymaker? The channel that he said that, oh, he was barely pulling $600 a month in residuals, which was a lie, by the way. He was making far more than that. He said that he didn't want to do gaming news and gaming videos anymore. He was past that. He was wanting to move on, and then just turned his current channel, RTU Streams, Rich of Tomorrow. He literally did the same bullshit on that channel. I called that out like earlier in this year, so it was whatever. And I'm sure other people did too. But like, he literally just tried to turn the secondary channel into the main channel and thought he was going to get a buzz off of it, and he didn't. He stifled himself. And we know he's got financial problems, which is funny because that's a pet peeve for Rich. You don't like anybody thinking that he broke. But he broke. Or he damn near broke. And then he sat there and exposed himself only like a month or two ago in some type of scam So now some of his information's floating around and shit. Accounts of his got compromised. So he ain't got sat there and screwed over on that bullshit. Damn, Rich. Last 2 years were tough. 2 fucking years ago, he used to sit on his channel. Some detractors used to run around over there and shit because they didn't really know, you know, what Rich was doing and shit. Some detractors were over there. They didn't really know either. He was collecting his money off of DSP and shit. He was in a good position. And then he ain't sat there and fucked around with Hate Army. Excuse me. He ain't fucked around with Hate Army and Snort Hogan. And then all this shit end up happening. Because you got that. Then you got the Jay situation. And then it just cascaded. All because a couple of detractors were like, hey, Mike Klum's getting ready to do this interview thing. You're saying you want to be interviewed. Mike Klum said he was interested in interviewing you. Don't fuck this up, Rich. Don't do anything that's going to spook or irritate fucking Dark Side Phil to where this fucking documentary doesn't happen. That's all that was asked. That's all that was said. He ain't sat there and fucking lost his shit over it. Wow. The other type of pork. Jesus Christ.
That I realized were real and not just coping reasons. I thought that my previous video here, I told myself that was the justified reasons that I did it, and I wasn't. I was just...
Yeah, it did. The reality is that outside of the body, right, which is what it was, he didn't want to get caught into a Jim Sterling type situation, or Stephanie Sterling, I think is what they go by now. He didn't want to get caught up in that situation where every 100,000 subs that he loses, fucking Kino Casino's on his ass. Suffer, dickers, suffer. That they're gonna sit there and laugh at his clown ass and shit and have that slow channel death. And then he didn't want Hate Army and fucking Snort Hogan on his neck for that bullshit. Okay, we back. Sorry, took me like had to take a phone call from the very person who requested this, and then we got sidetracked on this wrestling project I got coming up. So my fault. Anywho, so where was I saying? Fuck. Like 30 minutes. Shit. He'll come back to me. Let's let him play it out and we'll see what he's saying.
Just in denial. And
oh yeah. He didn't want to end up getting hit with the Jim Sterling situation or Stephanie Sterling, where he basically bleeds subscribers on his main channel slow. You know what I'm saying? A slow channel death, and everybody mocks his ass for it. So, which is another incentive that he had to get rid of it, because at that time, Kino Casino was on his neck heavy. They were on his neck. I mean, they still are, but they were really on his neck at that time, and it was bringing a lot more people to watching and fucking laughing at him, and he couldn't deal with it because Rich, fucking A, bro. If you're someone who's been fucking shitting on Rich for a long time, or you follow people who have shitted on Rich for a long time, you know this. Rich was very fortunate to have this veil of irrelevance and fucking invincibility as it pertains to a lol cow, and that's how he was able to get away with the bullshit for all the years that he did. You know what I'm saying? He should have been strung up in Minecraft a long time ago as a lol cow, and he kept, every time he did something stupid, every time he picked a fight with someone that he couldn't win, he ain't fucked there and basically was able to lurch back into the shadows and shit, and everybody forgot and moved on. He was very fortunate about that up until the last couple years, and then that's when shit started to become a problem. You know what I mean? But it's neither here nor there, so it is what it is. But that's the reason why. That's literally the reason. Those are the two primary reasons that I think that he ended up axing the fucking channel.
it was a mistake. And I realized the error of my ways, granted with the channel gone. And I don't like giving up or backing down.
That's all you do is giving up and backing down. The fuck are you talking about? You got every person that you've ever tried to press, you got punked. What are you talking about? And then he stopped and he went back into the shadows. Does that not sound like giving up or backing down? And or both?
Especially when that's what people wanted. So
wait a second. Didn't you get on your hands and knees for fucking Keemstar for a check? What was that?
What the hell made me, I've been thinking about this probably like for the past 4+ months. I just didn't say anything. What made me change my mind? Now, if you've noticed, I've been uploading videos on a fairly regular basis.
You mean the fact that you can't get the channel back? Well, that, that wasn't a tell that you have changed your mind? All right, whatever.
And
what, post-nut clarity and shit? Realizing that, hey, Lolcow still laughs at you, Kino Casino still laughs at you. There are more and more detractors, not just your own detractors, but more and more DSP detractors that laugh at you. That wasn't it. The fact that you're losing weight rather rapidly and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So it's the Ozempic or whatever you're on has helped you realize or maybe cleared your mind to what the scenario is. Whatever.
Comment, you could go look yourself. I'm not going to sit here and chop them out, but they're all over the place. Wow, I didn't realize you were still making videos. It's glad to see you back, man. I subbed to your channel. I didn't realize you were still around. What the hell happened to you? Blah, 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 blah. You could see it. It's all over there. And I'm like, oh, wow. I guess there were more people that like to watch me than I realized.
Wait, so you're saying, wait. So you're sitting here doing the same slop fucking content on the secondary channel that you could have done on the main channel. You're getting your 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. Let's be generous. On your current channel, the secondary one, that you could have easily have put on the main channel and got at least 100,000 views. I might be being generous, but fuck it, tis the season. That you could have made 100,000 views on. So now you're going to try to paint it as, oh, the reason why you got rid of the channel is because you thought you were losing relevance. You thought that you had faded out with all of your different recent controversies, and that was justification? You know, you would think for someone who's watched DSP as long as Riches has, or sorry, let's reword that. You would think if you're someone who's obsessed about DSP as long as Rich has, he would have better excuses. And yet again, that's another reason why he got away with what he got away with for as long as he did, up until a few years ago. He literally built himself off of the idea that, yeah, you know, DSP's kind of stupid, and you know, if I was in that situation, I would have done better, or I've been in similar situations and I handled it bad, but I didn't handle it as bad as him. And realistically, you guys really aren't very much different. You know what I'm saying? You succeeded in your lane far more than DSP did, but yet at the same time, DSP has not endured. But somehow, some people would still say that you're the bigger loser than fucking DSP. And the tattoo kind of was just the stamp. It was the USDA, you know, stamp of approval on that bitch to kind of certify it. So the clarification, the certification, and the verification of that is kind of, and it's just there. God damn, son. God damn.
That's what I genuinely felt. I'm like, man, I thought that, you know, the tide was completely against me on ReviewTechUSA. And then what was the straw that broke the camel's back and said, all right, I'm definitely going to do it and bring ReviewTechUSA back. I don't know if I could bring the...
Jesus, Rich, you got so many fucking tells and whatnot that you lying, and a lot of them are similar to DSPs. Like, how did you not figure this out? God damn.
Channel back. I almost guarantee I can't, but I will be ReviewTechUSA here.
I mean, you've already failed once, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were still trying. I've already talked about that earlier on in this.
I was in a store the other day, and the guy behind the counter was like, hey man, we watch your stuff. The people that work in the back were freaking out because they've been watching you for years. And I'm like, I kind of, maybe I...
It's an interesting jump cut. So what'd you think? Did you hesitate that maybe a barely 5'7" cue ball walking around whatever store of choice you were walking around and you were recognized by someone may or may not seem believable? Is that why the cut was there when it was? Whatever. Let me let you play your cards out.
I did have imposter syndrome to a degree because I didn't realize I had that much of an impact on people that I would still, to this day, as ReviewTechUSA, still in real life, get people coming to me and saying, man, you know, we watch you, we're a fan.
You didn't recognize that when you deleted your channel and all those tech and gaming channels came out and said, what the fuck? Why? How? That right there wasn't the wake-up call? You needed some phantom people in real life and shit to do that. Matter of fact, was the situation you're talking about, was that the same situation when you had to go into the phone store to get shit worked out and you went ahead and did the video in the mall about how you got scammed and you were basically explaining yourself before the fucking trolls actually put everything out on your ass? Like, was that situation? When was this? Where was this? Were you chasing trannies around the store trying to expose them like you did all them years ago? Just in case you didn't know, Rich actually did that. Literally harassed a fucking transsexual in the store for no damn reason. Just stalked them and shit. Like Phil, he must be gay.
Glad that you come in here. So I was like, you know what? I gotta stop giving into the negativity, which, man, there's a lot of it online. And
I mean, didn't you say this shit like 3 years ago? Didn't you say this before that? You've been saying this. You've been saying this since the days of Ann Doyle. And you lost back then. All right.
Just make the right choice. And I knew at that point the right choice was bringing back ReviewTechUSA.
Were you... Okay, so now you don't want to concede to the negativity to a war that you've already lost. So your thought is to show that you still got some fight left in you. You still got that hog in you. You want to go ahead and take your current channel and rebrand it as the dead channel that's already long gone. And that you may or may not be able to get back. That's you taking ownership. That's you grasping the brass ring. What? Did you see fucking DSP go over there and have the interview with Asmongold and you thought dreams really can happen? What the fuck is this? This isn't some Christmas miracle bullshit. Or maybe it is. Oh, all right.
So why did I, now that I'm looking in the mirror and actually seeing the reflection, why did I delete ReviewTechUSA? Because I thought it was done and it was stupid.
So you decided within weeks of deleting it to go to the current channel and do the same thing in the exact same format? Same stupid, dumb thing that you ain't sat there and lied, cheated, and steal to get 1 million subs, fraudulent or not, on one channel, and you decided to redo the same stupid shit on another channel? Huh? All right.
Was in a really negative headspace because of events that happened to me in 2023 and then compound it.
You mean the same events that you brought upon yourself? You fucked over Jay. You went to war with fucking detractors. You went at it with fucking side scrollers, which made no sense, by the way. I don't know why you did that. There's no reason why you couldn't have a spot on side scrollers every other week if you didn't fucking start that bullshit and whatnot, especially with your affiliation with Duty, or what was. You've been taking a lot of shots at him lately, actually. But anyway, especially with your affiliations with Duty back in those days, that wouldn't have, whatever. You wouldn't have even needed his cosign to make that happen over there. But the fuck? Like, all the negativity was your own fault. You fucked around and you found out on multiple fronts. You literally just kept taking L after L after L for like the last few years. Damn.
With 2024, with all the drama that happened there.
And let alone what happened with your daughter and shit, and how the lack of responsibility that you ain't sat there and displayed there. And then the Dropbox situation, which just gets worse and worse. And then it came out recently that you actually, Ames did that. Big ups to him. Ames ain't sat there and exposed your ass for fucking exchanging gay porn with some dude in your Discord and whatever that shit was. The fuck?
And I wasn't in my right mind.
Because he's gay. Yeah, he's gay. He's fucking weird. Just weird as shit. Like, literally internet brained.
Went through a terrible tragedy in real life, and
You mean that same tragedy, meaning his daughter Mackenzie and whatnot, and lost her eyesight, and then this piece of garbage barely saw her while she was in the hospital, making excuses about, oh, I was sick, the boys were sick, that could have made things worse for her, even though your baby's mother, Lauren, went on Facebook and it completely and utterly exposed your ass. So that wasn't the case. And at that time, Rich was knee deep in his DSP content and whatnot. So obviously DSP was never going to give his true love up. Huh?
wasn't thinking straight. That you could say it's an excuse. I don't care. Think it's an excuse, but that
It is an excuse. Your first video proves that. How you kept changing the story and changing your motives on why you did it over the span of the last couple years prove that. And if you didn't care, then why the fuck are you doing this video? Just rebrand the channel and whatever happens, happens.
that's what it was.
And you're a known liar. So what? All right.
And then coming off of the disaster that happened in 2023 and then going into the drama and the fallout that happened in 2024.
So is this you posted? So wait a second. So are you going to sit there and say it was my depression, which is a DSP meme, right? And a lane of attack. So now you're going to do it's my depression. And that's what led me to go against the DSP detractors, start the beef with side scrollers, have the problem with Jay, leading me to sell my soul to fucking, well, at least a portion of it, to fucking Keemstar. That's what this is? This video is supposed to be you making a fucking pathetic attempt to clean up the last couple of years. And you think it's going to work? All right. All right. Whatever.
And then to have Keemstar, who decided to step in and use me as a stepping stone to get his now failing lolcow live off the ground. And
the same lolcow universe that you end up going over there and working for. And Jay sat there and set you up on that. Everybody knew that, though. Everybody knew Jay set you up. Everybody knew Jay to set you up. Now, could you guys have made that into a legitimate show? Maybe. I'm going to have to think on that. Maybe. But you guys were still going to be the butt of the jokes over there anyway. On top of whatever nonsense that you were stirring up over there behind the scenes anyway. And remember, you gave up your fucking million sub plaque to cement that deal. You can keep shitting on Keem all you want. And you have for years. But the reality is, Keem collects his enemies and he got what he wanted out of you. On top of the fact that your best friend, which kind of wasn't your best friend at that time, Jay ain't served you up and was paid handsomely for it. Allegedly. Jesus, Rich. Jesus, Rich.
bring on a person who was a pathological liar that has now disappeared, who we know, Becky Boop, into...
You mean the same chick that you were chasing around for, well, not even chasing around, that you were allegedly dating for a decade, but you couldn't get up in that batter's box to see what that's about? But then you run around and call her a whore, which means someone hit it, and they didn't have to devote 10 years to doing it. And isn't that the same chick, Becky Boop, that you sat there and invited her out to a convention, and then you brought Lauren while she was pregnant with one of your kids, and you were planning on hooking up with her? Why would you bring Lauren to that if you were planning on hitting this chick? Well, if you're planning on getting at that chick. What the fuck is wrong with you? And she used your ass as a stepping stone. You're a lol cow. That's what you're supposed to do. And then it didn't matter. You still went over there to work with, go and work for Keem after that. Holy shit. Holy shit.
The land of irrelevancy again. It was just too much. And
oh yeah, he did. He's had plenty of fucking hard-ons for Becky and her little downfall and shit. And speaking of which, as it pertains to the Becky thing, Keem and fucking pedo behind the camera over there are fucking nuts. Speaking of which, I'm gonna hold that against Rich too and shit, because that information was kind of floating around, and it's alleged that Rich may have known about some of that bullshit, and you still were cool with Kid behind the camera, knowing that that dude groomed that fucking chicken and shit, and he's literally a pedophile, and you were still okay. Whatever. I'll hit you for that later. Because Becky can get that heat too, because Becky was the one who put all that information out there. But anyway, it's funny to me that Rich has been trying to dance on Becky's grave for all these months since she disappeared, because yet again, Keem and Kid behind the camera are fucking idiots and sat there and did this thing, went ahead, set her ass up and basically tried to tear her down. But now in the current day and age, they're literally on their fucking dying channel dying network. Let's give it the respect it deserves. They're on their dying network talking about, man, I wish Becky would come back. Yeah, man, I wish Becky would, I tried to reach out to Becky to see how she's doing. She blocked me. She blocked you? Yeah, she blocked me, man. She stole from us. And we just wanted our get back. And we've had our get back now. So now we want to get back to business. We want to get back to our friendship. You guys are all fucking alcoholic, pedophile, grooming fucking twits. That's all you guys are over there in the LCU. You're just fucking losers at the worst possible quality to various degrees, obviously. But some of you guys are more losers than others, and the rest of y'all are just crazy ass, alcoholic, drug addict, racist, degenerates, and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll see all of y'all in hell. So with that being said, like, it's fucking wild. And now they're literally spending week after week begging to get Becky back. Here's the point of all that. No one's begging to get ReviewTechUSA back. No one's asking if, oh man, when Rich was here, shit was kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? None of that. But remember, Rich was gunning for the LolCal Live seat, or one of the LolCal Live main seats on the main channel. He was gunning for that. I mean, he could never hold it, at least not for any extended period of time. But he was gunning for it. He thought that he could make it happen. He basically wanted DSP seat, to make a long story short. But now you're talking all this shit after the fact? You're the one person who got fired and literally has never been asked to come back. Everybody else who's been fired has been asked to come back. There was allegedly rumblings. I can't prove any of this, but there was rumblings that even CD-ROM may have been asked, would he be willing to come back, or at least to make an appearance. Rich has been back over there. He got asked to go back to Ozzy and whatever that situation is, and he may have been on one other spot. But he was never asked to come back and be gainfully employed anymore. Or again, I should say. How was it that you have the decorative distinction of being the only person to be in that position? That's crazy. That's fucking wild. What
thought that with what happened with LolCal Live, and then Keemstar brought on a woman that I was talking to on and off and duped her into doing some terrible things.
Didn't she come up there willingly? And then more importantly than that, didn't you lie and say that the alleged fucking video of you having your own May 1st burst didn't exist? Oh, and then you said, oh, well, it does exist, but only Lauren had that video. No other woman have ever gotten that. You never sent it to any other chicks. Then this chick comes out of the woodworks. Then when fucking Tipster pressed your ass, which led to everybody finding out that the reason why you deleted your main channel was over the botting situation, he said, oh, well, he's talked to a few of the girls and whatnot that you were speaking to. And you sure that you only sent that video to one person? You sure? You really sure about that? So there may be other women out there who have it as well, and they just aren't willing to say anything. They may have already deleted it in horror. You're lucky Keem didn't pursue that. Or if he did, he wasn't able to convince him to come up there. But remember, you did lie to Keem and everybody else and say that you didn't send that video to anybody, that you might have been hacked. Now that I think about it, you try to pull that bullshit. Remember Rich? You remember Rich? Pepper's Farm remembers Rich.
I really thought the walls were closing in around me, and
so were you going to take Sav's advice and just neck yourself? Like, what is this, Rich? I mean, outside the fact that the rope wouldn't have been able to hold you back then, let alone now. What is it, Rich? Is this where the sob story is supposed to come in? I'm waiting.
I felt pressured. I thought the right thing at that time, which was so wrong. I wish I could go back into a time machine. I was staring at this monitor. I went there and had the screen to delete your channel, and between what was happening with all the terrible people on.
So wait. So was YouTube about to delete the channel? Were they about to demonetize it? Did they say that you were under investigation? Now I want a better understanding of what prompted you to do it. Now, according to Rich's original story, he had to get rid of the channel so he could keep his Google AdSense, so he could keep the monetization on the streaming channel that he's currently on, so he could keep that cash flow going. But now he's saying that because of all of these outside influences, that were pressuring his ass and shit, that were living rent free in his head, basically. That's what actually forced him to delete it, and not really so much something that YouTube may or may not have been doing. So which one is it?
Locale Live and the manipulation and the pressure.
You sound like DSP. Like it's you did nothing wrong. You did everything correct, and it's everybody else's fault. I mean, it's kind of funny that you inherited DSP's beef. That is kind of funny, though. Kind of, sort of. That is kind of funny that you did that.
I genuinely thought that I had no other choice, and it was dumb, and I absolutely did.
Now, here's the thing. You're a fucking retard, obviously. But also, you've done videos on other content creators that have been in similar situations, or have been in worse situations, or even less situations, where they deleted their channel for no fucking reason, or not for a good reason, or out of a panic, or whatever. And you were always quick to say, oh, they could have reached out and talked to someone. Oh, they should have taken a breath and taken some clarity and given themselves some clarity. Oh, they should have stepped away from the internet for a period of time before they make a drastic move. And yet you didn't take any of your fucking advice. Imagine that.
And I don't like quitting or backing down from anybody.
And you've done that to pretty much everybody you've ever tried to start a beef with. And then the other cats who want to smoke with you, you went and sat there and were like, nope. But see, Rich kind of has a history of starting shit with people that he thinks he can beat. You know what I mean? That's kind of his MO. He doesn't ever go after people who are literally in his grill waiting for it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing with Ames, I honestly think he did that spontaneously. I don't think he thought the Ames situation was going to go the way it did. I need to go over that video. But I honestly think Ames might be one of those scenarios where it was a fuck around and find out type situation. Like, he didn't know how bad it was going to go. He knew it was going to go left. He just didn't know how far left. And then it turned into what that turned into. For example, that's the reason why he ducked Mikey no more. He don't want no piece of Mikey. He knows what Mikey's bringing to the table. He don't want none of that. He don't want any of that. And he's so mad at Keemstar. Why aren't you asking for Keemstar to get into a debate with you? Oh, that's right. You've already done that before in the past and lost. But if you have so much problems with Keem, and you know so much dirt about him now, right? Because Rich wants to keep bringing up the whole thing with the crypto coin scams that Keem has been part of, which has been well known for a long time. I don't know how Rich didn't know about that, or no one in his Discord, when they're not sending him gay porn, didn't illustrate that to him. I'm surprised he just didn't know about that, allegedly. But why don't you debate him on some of his bullshit now? Why don't you go ahead and get your get back? You're afraid you're going to lose. And now you don't have a 1 million sub channel to hide behind no more. It doesn't seem like it's really worth it. I get it. I get it, Rich. I do. So I don't know about this whole concept of not giving up and backing down, when in reality, that's all you've done. Matter of fact, you killing off the SS ReviewTechUSA kind of proves it. It was the culmination of all your failures over the years and the weight of it that you yourself weren't man enough to hold. That's why you let it sink. Semantics.
And the fact that I did then, especially for the people that I backed down to.
What, you thought you were better than them? If that was the case, you wouldn't have gotten into exchange with them anyway. Go ahead and ask to debate PPP. Matter of fact, listen, let's go ahead and give you a handicap, so to speak. Go ahead and debate Andy. Even Andy Worski, right now in the current day, at half step compared to where he was at in 2017, because that Andy Worski in 2017, you'd never be able to beat. Not at all. Like early skeptic days, internet bloodsport days, Andy Worski would have ran circles around your ass. This one right here, I still don't think you can beat him. I still don't think you can beat him. And in the snowball's chance in hell that you were able to get a win on him, you still didn't beat him on some Apollo Creed shit. Rocky 2, just in case you guys don't get the reference. And that's at a snowball's chance in hell that would happen. And you definitely can't beat PPP. Or Triple P, as I like to call him. That's definitely not a thing. And you can't take Keem. Even in his alcoholic, damn near catatonic state, you can't beat him either. So all these people who you think are beneath you have beaten you, or can beat you, or would beat you. You still don't see it though. I mean, that's good. It's good to see like that you can have this fake bravado, like you got some fight in you and shit. But the reality is there's nobody out there that you can whip. What's the name of that chick's name? Grace Thorne? Didn't you have to call the cops on her? And Sly sat there and clowned you for calling the cops on a little girl, which is what you did, being that you are well, she's taller than you, but you still are. You're wider than she is. You're far more rotund than she is and shit. You literally had the weight advantage despite the fact that you didn't have the height advantage. You couldn't have called Lauren and asked Lauren to come over here and handle that shit for you? You couldn't have done that? And then didn't fucking Grace get fucking handled in like a cafe or something not too long ago? I saw this shit on Mikey's stream. Big ups to Mikey no more. I saw this shit on his stream and shit. That shit got handled. And then I saw it on the forums, which was even funnier. So there's that. But you called the cops on that chick. And then bought a shotgun for that chick. That's how scared you were. All right, man. And keep in mind, you invited her over there because you thought you were going to cut. You thought you were going to sample it. You thought, well, hey, if her own father was good for that, you thought you could go ahead and get yourself a liquor too as well. You knew that's the reason why you called her over there. Honestly, which is gross, by the way. That's gross. She came out of her father's hole. Allegedly, her father's been in her hole, and then you wanted a piece of that too? That's disgusting. That's nasty.
Never again. Never again. I have a lot more that I want to do on this platform. I'm a very creative person.
Are you? Is Jay in pocket again? Does Jay have new ideas and shit that you're going to siphon from? Maybe not. We'll see.
I like sharing my opinions and sharing my takes. And
so that means we're still going to do the politics? Yikes. Can't we just let that part die and shit? Can't we do that? Why don't you just devote another channel to the politics, though? You can't, because they're going to target your ass. And you know what's going to happen. Just like the reason why DSP really never committed to DSP politics and whatever. The only reason why he did it the way he did it is because he thought Keto Casino would back him up if somebody else, anybody else, would come at him. Same reason why Rich doesn't want to devote himself to a straight political channel, because he knows he has nothing else to fall back behind. Or sorry, he doesn't have anything to fall back on, or he has nothing to hide behind if shit goes left. Yikes. Yikes. So we're going to make the same mistakes twice, quite literally. And then what? Shit gets tough, and we got to get rid of the, air quotes, new RTU or ReviewTechUSA channel, and then we fall back to what? The fucking ASMR channel, and turn that into the new RTU Streams channel in a few years when shit goes fucking serious? Or when shit gets serious? What are we doing?
There's a lot more that I want to achieve. There was a lot more I wanted.
And the funny thing is, for those of you who know, that's all the fucking that's all the ASMR channel is. The ASMR channel is essentially what RTU Streams was. The ASMR channel is to is what RTU Streams is, as what RTU Streams was to the main channel ReviewTechUSA was. It was just another channel he could hide behind if shit got too hot. And now he's starting to show the pattern that, hey, if shit gets hot enough, or if he gets caught up in some fuckery, he'll get rid of a channel to save himself, and then fall back to another channel and try to build that up, while trying to build up another channel to follow that one up. Essentially. God damn, Rich. This shit's convoluted as fuck. Almost like it's not worth it.
To achieve on ReviewTechUSA. And I plan on doing that here. And this is going to...
But the thing is, though, is ReviewTechUSA was an easy alley-oop. Jay was doing the majority of the work. All you had to do is basically show your fucking face, read some shit off the fucking off of a screen and whatever, give your fucking opinion and shit, and then move the fuck on. And hopefully not insert any politics. And then move the fuck on. And then Jay was willing to do the shorts, but if I remember correctly, the reason why he couldn't is because it was so barbaric of a fucking act to do, because Rich has too many pauses in between when he speaks, on top of the fact that he's completely and utterly dependent on that applause button. And then on top of that, he can get sidetracked really fucking easily. And it takes him forever to get back on topic. And I can say that because I get sidetracked a lot. So what the fuck? So it's really hard to make clips out of all that shit. Jay would be at that shit all day. So he was literally a hindrance to himself. And then the one guy that was in his corner, he was making it hard for him. And you're literally paying him to keep you afloat. Imagine that. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
To become ReviewTechUSA, and I'm going to do what I wanted to finish on that channel. I'm going to do here and finish here. I'm not going to back down and succumb to anybody, and I know I could put out good quality content.
If that was the case, then you wouldn't have deleted the main channel. You wouldn't have needed to bot the main channel if you could put out good content. You've been saying this shit for years. You were saying this shit during the killer comedy days and shit when you were warring with him. Or, what was that, the 13-16 killer? But he was also going by killer comedy. You know what I mean? You were like, you were saying that same shit back then with that. You were saying that shit back then with most of the controversies that you were going through on that main channel. The fuck? Just reading off the same damn script. This is like fucking, this is the equivalent of DSP saying, you know what I'm saying? I want to put out meaningful content. I want to put out great content and whatnot. And I don't care what the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics say about me. I only give a fuck about our community and you guys wanting to spend time with me and share games and share my experiences and share my passion and whatnot on this platform. That's all I care about. Literally next day, fuck these detractors. You know what I'm saying? It's Tevin's fault and so on and so forth. Wash, rinse, repeat. Jesus. Jesus, Rich.
And I will be here putting out that content. Also, too, over the next few days, I will be streaming quite a bit on this channel. I have a project I'm working on. I may not have actual videos up unless some major breaking news happens, like Bill Gates jumped out of a birthday cake for Gabe Newell. I will cover that. But while I'm working on that project, I will also be streaming quite a bit. So
what is this? Another Netflix fucking style fucking thing? Like, you already failed at that the first time. On top of that, Rich, I got to point this out to you. I don't care, but I guess I should point this out. You do know that there are videos on YouTube that can actually help you do that, right? They can actually help you break all that shit down or whatever. You know, that's the thing, right? You could do that, right? Because your clipping is not, and editing is not very good and whatnot. I'm just saying because it's the truth and shit. Then again, I'm being told that your boy Duty got winged by Kino Casino the other night because allegedly they called him out for his editing too. So theoretically, you and Duty could sit in a classroom with Andy and PvP and they'll teach you guys how to edit and clip together. That could be a thing. I'm just throwing that out there. They threw the offer to him and whatnot. I'm sure Duty would let you tag along. Anyway, so what project are you working on that's gonna take up so much of your time? And you don't do shit and whatnot unless you got a job, which I doubt that. So you don't do anything. So what's taking up your time? What do you have that's so important that you need to do? Be a father? We're way past that. You know what I'm saying? We're way past that expiration date. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna finally put a ring on fucking Lauren's finger and make an honest woman out of her? Nah, she's far past that expiration date. So what? What do you have to do? What's so important for you that you can barely stream, but supposedly you got something going on the side? I mean, I know you're still knee deep on those fucking dating apps. So is that what you're talking about? Is that the piece of work that you're working on and shit? You're trying to go ahead and see if you can lock in Officer Sanders or whatnot and see if you can get Jenna to come by? It's a long flight, bruh. But then again, if DSP can fly a woman out, I can't see why you can't do it either.
make sure you check in with streams. And this is the most confident I've felt in a couple of years. And
That's pretty sad. But the thing is, though, is the confidence coming from the weight loss or coming from what exactly? The moment of clarity that you have that you fucked up really, really bad, that's put you in a really bad financial situation, which in turn has put your kids in jeopardy financially as well. Where exactly has all this clarity and confidence come from? Just ask it.
I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to see with evidence that people want me back.
Theoretically, you never left. And the people that were here that were still wanting to watch you, they were actually laughing at him too during the Kino Casino arc. And that's what he was really, really mad about. He won't bring that up though. He's making it sound like people are kind of just rediscovering him or whatnot. But the reality is that the people that were around were also laughing at the Kino Casino jokes, and he couldn't handle it. That's what really happened. All right, whatever.
And to Keemstar, I know you got my million sub play button or whatever it went to, but I want to tell you to do something, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Take that play button and shove it up your ass. I'm not going anywhere. This is Rich, a review.
What? What does that mean? How does that hold any relevance? And that, just because you haven't been paying attention, Keemstar's a drunk. So he's not even going to be able to comprehend that anyway. All right.
Tech USA. See, I actually said it this time. Signing out. Make sure you sub to the channel if this video brought you back, and I'll be having plenty of great content on this channel. Thank you for the continued support, and thank you for everyone who came back too.
And then also, you had a 1 million sub channel and you weren't streaming on it? Like, why was that? Instead of having the secondary channel to stream on, because I do it too. I get that. But like, you had a 1 million sub channel though. You could literally stream on that channel twice a month to signal boost the fucking streaming channel that you stream on even more, well, more regularly. You never thought about doing that shit? You never really learned how to utilize your resources at all. Jay was wasted on you. He was absolutely wasted on you. Holy shit, man. God damn. Jesus Christ. That's fucking peak delusion right there. That's fucking insane. All right, whatever. That'll go into the archive because I was already planning on gunning for Rich later on in the year anyway, because he's done a bunch of dumb shit this year. But this is, what is this? It's very clear that people were beating him in the algorithm using his quote unquote, his dead name. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's clear that Rich was mad that people were using his dead name or his dead channel name to beat his ass out in the algorithm, I suppose. And so I guess he was trying to take ownership of it, or he thinks he's going to. And that's not how that works. Remember when you used to go by lolcow basement and lolcow this and then lolcow that, and then it became RTU streams. Well, it was always RTU streams, I'm sorry. Then it became Rich of Tomorrow. None of that really worked for you, Rich. So now you're gonna gravitate back to Old Faithful, which belongs to another person. Does that mean he's going back to Twitter? Did he ever even leave Twitter? Is he tired of his hug box on Blue Sky? Is he ready to get back into the mix with people, or what's going on with that? He's still hiding from Sav. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. All right, there's that. There's that. I don't know what to... I don't understand. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on why he did this. I want to tell you that he's kind of just making things harder for himself, but I don't even know if that even matters. It seems like it's something that he's accustomed to, so I guess it doesn't really mean anything. I guess. All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's the it's the rise, the fall, and then the rise again of the dead name channel ReviewTechUSA and shit. This is worse than Frogan. You know what I'm saying? If you guys know, you know, with her rising Twitch rising streamer award, 2-time winner. I don't know how you could rise twice and whatnot. I mean, she ain't Jesus, but it is what it is on that and whatnot. I mean, I guess she could raise her fork or spoon for the DoorDash, but even then, I guess Rich is in the same position. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, truthfully, he's emboldened by DSP in some way. You can't tell me that you can tattoo another person on you who's not your kin, right? Or whatnot, or not someone who you know personally, and you don't draw some type of inspiration off of them. And I'm assuming this stems from that. Like, you know what I mean? He saw how far DSP got, which is further than DSP should have ever been able to get. And he's like, well, if he could do it, I could do it too. I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure if it even really matters. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. This has been 12 days of Goutmas, part of 25 days till Goutmas. Season's greetings and happy holidays to all of you guys. Beat your lol cows and beat them often. I take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Make your next move your best move, and just don't be a dent. That's all I ask. Don't be a dent. Jesus Christ. Take care of yourselves, people. I'll see you tomorrow. Later, people.